If you're looking for a reorders process, well, today I'm going to share with you my exact step-by-step process, and I warn you now, there's going to be a lot of detail in going through this. Stay tuned. My name is Thomas Parkinson, and I've run 2 7-figure Amazon e-com stores plus 1 6-figure service company, and I like to share everything that I'm learning within my business on my YouTube channel. The first section we want to go through is the actual process for spotting or finding products to reorder within our Amazon business. We have what's known as test purchases, and we have the rebuy process. The difference is whenever we're doing test purchases, we'll generally buy a much smaller quantity and we're going to test them, and in the SKU itself it will say the word test. And then when we're doing rebuys or reorders, we'll buy a lot deeper, but we'll also encode the SKU with the purchase or the word called rebuy. The reason why we do this is because we really want to be checking the test purchases every single day, but the reorders or the rebuys, we only want to be checking a lot less. So like Monday, Wednesday, for example. Because otherwise, all you're going to be doing is going through your SKUs every single day, and it can get really, really time consuming. So it might be the case that on a Monday, we're going to go through all our test SKUs first, the sales of the products with test in the SKU. And then on a Wednesday, for example, we might go through only the order or the SKUs where it's got the word reorder in the SKU. That's just going to allow us to separate and think about doing reorders and test purchases in a very efficient manner when we're doing a large range of SKUs without having to duplicate too much information or work. I'll jump on the computer now, and we're going to go through, first of all, that process of identifying products that we want to reorder. Now, I will actually just merge the test and the SKUs here, or the reorder SKUs, but for the sake of it, you understand that we would actually do these on different days to reduce down the workload. So first things first, what I'm going to do is come in and go to orders section, which I am right now. So we're going to come into our orders section, and I will just make sure it goes up to 100 because I want to scrim down. What I'm going to do is just going to be scrolling down the products and sales, and I'm really going to be looking at anything which is going to be profitable. I'm going to be looking at number 1, the ROI, and then number 2, I'm actually going to be looking at thinking about what is the date today and what is the date of purchase in the SKU. For example, if I were to show you this SKU right here, now for all my SKUs, we use the ultimate sourcing sheet, and that actually encodes the purchase date within the SKU. You can see here, for example, this product, it was a Funko product, we bought it for 18 bucks. It was purchased on the 23rd of the 6th, 30th, so year, month, day, it's a test purchase, and we thought we'd sell it for $39.95, and my VA number 6 was the one who found that product. I'm really looking at what's the date today? Well, it's going to be at the end of July, and this product we purchased at the end of June. It's about a month ago. So I know that's pretty quick, pretty close. Our usual shipping days are about 14 to 20 days for our products to buy and get into Amazon. That's one thing we're aware of. So anything within about a month, month and a half of selling from purchase date, I'm quite interested in because it has sold. And the reason why I do this is because I'm very interested in understanding what's selling fast. I don't really want slow moving stock, but anything within the last month, month and a half, I'm very interested in. I might do a bit more information. A quick note to you. Within my repricer, we will have our minimum ROI set as low as 10% for the first 90 days. What I can generally tell, and sometimes it might go lower, we might go 5%, for example, but what I'll say is anything which is below 10%, I'll probably say it wasn't selling or we cleared out of the product, so I can skip those products. But anything even like 11%, I might be interested in looking at why, because it could be the case that actually it sold really fast, maybe a bit cheaper, but we could get back onto that listing again, rebuy it, and maybe see a higher price because now the market conditions have changed. So generally, I'm going to be looking for any products that are sold within the last month and a half, and they got over a 10% ROI. So if we have a quick look here, you can see the ROI is like 2.28, and that's sold within about the last month. This one is 24.96, and actually I can see that was about 3 months ago. I'm not really interested in that one. This one is under 10%. This one is 42, so I'm quite interested in that. And I can see actually that was actually only purchased 20 days ago. So nice profit, nice ROI, 20 days ago. I can see right now, this has got 6 in stock, and also it's a test purchase. So because of that, I'm like, I should jump back into it because I want to understand this could be a product that I might want to reorder now. While there are 6, it might be the case that it's going to sell out before I get a chance to reorder. So do I want to jump back in? Now, once I've identified a product that I'm quite interested in, what I am going to do is load that listing. So let's jump up to the Amazon listing now and have a look. So I've just loaded a product, which isn't actually my product, but I'm going to use it as an example to explain how we would analyze this product. Once I've loaded that listing up, I'm going to make sure that I've got my SAS loaded up, and I'll load that right now. And the first thing I'm going to do is just scroll down straight away. I'm going to be looking at the keeper chart. Now, when I'm looking at the keeper chart, I'm looking at buy box price and I'm looking at the new seller count. Number 1, buy box price. Is it flat or is it rising? Generally, if it's going down like it is right now, I might not be interested. But if I know that I sold it for this price right here and I made good profit, I might be okay with that. But I'm just trying to get an idea, a feel for what is going on with the buy box price and having an understanding of that. But again, with the mindset of what was the price we sold it for. Number two, I'm going to be looking at the new offer count. I want to make sure that new offer count is pretty stable. It's not going to the moon. I'll probably get away from that. That's a red flag for us. The second one, which I'm going to be looking at, is in our seller toolkit. So for us, obviously, I haven't sold this product, but within our seller toolkit, we will be able to see how many products I've sold and also the refund rate. Now for me, anything of about 10% refund rate, I'm probably going to be quite careful on and probably avoid. Shoes, we might go a little bit higher, but generally I want to keep it below 10%. And for you, I'd really recommend looking at that refund rate. And it's going to be working out the number of refunds versus the sales and the percentage, which is going to help you understand, should I review this product? If it's close, I might do some quick analysis of looking at why they got refunded. Too high, I'll probably skip it. Now, the third one that I'm going to look at really is coming down, and I'm going to have a quick glance at what this is, 54, and I'm going to look at that FBA stock. So I'm going to turn on FBA sellers. I'm just going to hold it here. So I can see there's 282 on this listing right now. If we're saying selling 50 per month, I don't want there to be more than 3 months worth of stock on the listing. We can see right now it's got 50 sales per month, and there's probably about 5 months worth of stock on the listing. So I'll probably avoid this listing. Why? Or reordering, because it's just too much stock, and my products probably won't sell, and I'd probably say I'll pass on that one. It's going to get very, very competitive, and also you can see that already with this. There was a lot of sellers, and all of a sudden more sellers, really not more sellers came in, but the prices started to decline. Why? Because there's just so much stock and people are competing against it. So I'd be very careful. If I see all of those and I'm quite happy with them, i.e. like the product is profitable, the buy box is pretty stable or it's going up, and the new seller count isn't crazy, and the stock on the listing is less than 3 months, then I'm going to be thinking about rebuying. For me, that's going to be actually, this product looks stable on Amazon. I'm going to think about, can I rebuy that? Now, what does that look like? So for me within my business, we're going to ask the question, can I buy it from the same supplier at the same price? That's the easy one. Or I'm going to be even saying, can I actually get it cheaper? So I'm going to be looking for like discount codes on the website, or maybe even asking the supplier for a discount. That's something that we're going to do. Or perhaps maybe even looking at other suppliers. If I can't get it at the same price or cheaper, I'll give it back to my VA and say, hey, this is a good product. Can we find more? Please keep an eye on it. So that's going to be really, really important. I talked about it earlier on, refund rate. In our business, the way we consider refund rates is as follows right now, but this is likely to change because we're always adapting. If we've sold between 0 and 25 units, we can basically potentially go up to a 20% refund rate where the ROI is above about 45% and maybe $15 profit per unit. That is to further test if the refund rate is correct. But if we sold more than 25 units and we've still got above 25% refund rate, we probably won't bother because it's not going to work. If we're happy with it and we do want to reorder, then what we're going to do is go through the following process, help us work out how many to actually buy and do that. So let's do it now on this listing, and let's imagine this is the one we wanted to buy. If we're happy with purchasing it, we now want to understand what is the listing sales. We're going to really try and use our own data to understand this. This is the way we go through the process of doing it. Why? Because tools like Seller Am are good and we definitely couldn't work without them, but they are estimations and we really want to improve our understanding of the listing sales per month based on our own data. What we're going to do is come into the listing itself, and I'm going to use, let's say for example, this guy. I'm going to pretend this is me. And let's say for example, we'd sold 4 units over this period. Maybe it's like 4 units I sold. So I can see I'm hovering over fancy findings. And what I'm looking at is roughly how long did I hold the buy box for? So you can see if I kind of zoom into this thing right here, what I can notice right now is that when I have fancy findings, let's get it here, fancy finding. So I'll say over this period, which is June the 10th through to July, probably the 15th, I'm probably going to say it's going to be about a month and 5 days. Let's call it 35 days, for example, just off my head. Let's say, for example, I held the buy box and I can hover over that and look at the top. And if you see it along the top, just like up here, you probably notice it. You see where I've got the highlights. As to say on that, I probably held the buy box for 30% of the time. I'm just guessing here. What I'm going to say is that for 35 days, I held the buy box for 30% of the time and I made 4 sales. So what I'm going to use now is use that information, try and work out what I would estimate the sales as. If we kind of go through, I'm going to take the 35 days. So to get my calculator out. So I did 4 sales in 35 days. Cool. So that's really 0.1 sales, but also I understand that I only held the buy box for a third of the time. So I'm going to basically divide that by 0.33, because that's about a third. That's going to give me roughly sales on the listing per day, and then I'll multiply it out to the month. So I'll probably say this listing, if this was correct, is selling about 10 sales per month. If I'm going to use that information looking at what my sales actually were as a primary data point to understand the listing sales. Then I'll probably use another one, maybe seller amp, as a secondary data point, and I'll probably average them out. Say for example here, we're probably selling more than 4 in that time period, but if I said 10 and that says 54, I might say, I'd probably say this is selling about 20 units per month. So once I understand that the listing's selling 20 units per month, then I can get a much more accurate picture of reordering. Now, in the case of this product, what you're generally going to find is that your listings per month sales will probably be higher, which is the estimated sales in SaaS is generally a little bit lower to be cautious, but you'll probably find it's a lot higher. And as a result, you can probably go a bit deeper because now you've got some good information. So this helps me understand how many the listing selling is going, and then I can look at how many I want to be buying. So for example, within my business, we have a rule or a guideline to help us do reordering. And I'll explain that guideline for you now. I'll talk that through. What we say is if the stock on the listing, so here, how much stock is in the listing right now, if that is less than 1 month's supply and the listing is selling over 30 units per month with over 1 year's worth of sales history, so all data right here, then we are going to be able to buy 1 month's worth of supply, which does not exceed $2,000 in cost of goods for that product. That's how deep we'll go on this after a test purchase. Now what we'll say is if the stock on the listing is between 1 and 2 months of supply and it's selling over 30 units per month with over 1 year's sale history, then we're going to buy half a month's worth of supply or up to half a month's worth of supply, which does not exceed more than $1,000 worth of product. Then the final one is if the stock on the listing is between 2 and 3 months worth of supply, so right here, we are then going to buy 0.5 months supply and it does not exceed $500 cost of goods for that product if it's selling well. And if it doesn't meet any of those criteria, we'll basically say don't buy it. That's it. That's pretty much the whole process we do. Number one, we're going through our sales to look at what are the products are selling fast and they've achieved over 10% ROI and we're happy with them. Number two, we're then looking at can we rebuy it, or is the market conditions within Amazon buy box and the new keeper looking like what we want? And then number three is can we rebuy it? And if we can, then we're going to calculate the true listing sales. And once we've done that, then we're going to use that information to work out how many we should actually buy based on two factors. Number one, length of the history of the product, and then number two, how much stock is on the listing, so how much competition there will be, and actually that will influence how much we spend, whether it be $500, $1,000 or $2,000. That's pretty much it. That is how we do our reorders. Now, if you like that, do make sure you hit the thumbs up, and hey, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button down below. But for myself, Thomas Parkinson and Fast Track FBA, thank you very much.